So the first question this evening is from Sushata. It's all in Danish, never mind. She's asking, she says, one of my colleagues asked me the other day how Jacqueline's meditations are. Are they very deep, or are they just about being? Okay. I didn't have time to answer him, and I didn't either also have time to ask him really what he meant. But then I was thinking, is there anything higher than the tillstand?
Condition?
Like the condition, the space of just being. Perhaps one could say that during meditation you could get some insights and some knowledge which can help you to stay in this world no matter what. And also, when you go out in the question, who am I? It feels like the state of being expands and one's body disappears. But that is still a state of being, isn't it? And then she says, this colleague is very intellectual. And he's read Jes Bertelsen. Love from Sushata. Okay. So a fine question, Sushata. And you know, I've heard, and I just want to say before I get into this, that I appreciate very much Jes Bertelsen's work. And Jes Bertelsen is very intellectual. So he attracts a lot of intellectual people who sometimes think the intellect has the answer. But that's not my experience of Jes Bertelsen himself. So in no way do I imply that Jes Bertelsen is stuck in the intellect, because he's not. He's much more than that. But, you know, whatever kind of pathway people are attracted to, whatever pathway suits them, there are always traps on that pathway. You know, like we know, the guru-disciple relationship, people can get all hung up in the personality of the guru. That's one of the traps. And a more intellectual pathway, people can imagine that the intellect, you know, that's where you're going to get the answer. But that really says nothing about the guru or the teacher who is teaching an intellectual pathway. You all understand this, eh? So I'm just responding now really to the person who's asked you the question. And I also heard, I remember years ago, with the group of esotericists, one woman said to me, you can't just meditate on nothing. And that was her intellectual understanding. You can't just meditate on nothing. No, but in deep meditation you come into a nothingness. Nothingness compared to your ordinary everyday reality. Nothingness compared to what is normally going on in the mind. But her intellectual understanding was, you can't just meditate on nothing. And maybe she's right, you can't meditate on nothing, because if you're meditating on, there's got to be something to have it on. But anyway, it just reminded me of this when I read your question. So let's have a look at the state of being. What do we really mean by a state of being? And when I mean being with a capital B. A true state of being. Is there anything higher than this? I actually don't even want to talk about higher and lower. You know, people can use a meditative condition to access information from other dimensions, from other levels. They can do this and that with a more meditative state of mind. But when you come into a deep state of being, what can actually happen is if you can hold that deep state of being which is actually a perfect state of balance. You know, being is it's the masculine and feminine imbalance. This state of total surrender, total openness. And at the same time, there's a clarity and awareness. In this state of total being, what can happen is that truth can reveal itself. And when truth reveals itself in this state of being, then what happens is you know who you are. You see it, you know it. It's like this is where your true nature reveals itself, in this state of being, this deep, deep silence. This silence, this total awareness. This is where your true nature reveals itself. And this state has nothing to do with meditation techniques, exploring other dimensions, you know, tuning in and getting answers to questions. It's not about this. This deep state of being, which you could say in a way is the point, is meditation. It's the flowering of meditation. And it's in this deep state of being that you know who you are. You remember the other day I was saying to certain people, you need more silence. You need to get more into the depths of your own silence. I also was reminding you, Jesus said, be still and know. Kirtana sings, be still and know who I am. Know this I am. Because it's in the stillness that the I am, your true nature, who you really are, can reveal itself. So you can tell your colleague this.
I don't think he understands that.
Or, you never know. One day. And this is also why I keep reminding you about being, just being. Also when you're talking together in your small groups, you know, letting go of having to comment, ask questions, interrupt. Just be together with the person who's speaking. And then you're giving the one who's speaking the opportunity to resonate with this state of being. This is why on meditation retreats, not what we're doing right now, we're doing other kinds of work these 7 days, but on meditation retreats there are a lot of days in silence. Because the silence is an invitation for people to go deeper into their own silence, deeper into their own state of being. And this is where who you really are reveals itself. And once you know, once you've seen it, you'll never really lose it again. So don't underestimate the state of being.